Welcome! This is the second video in our series of 3 videos concerning SoHoBlue. The first video, which you need to watch before this video, concerns the installation of the SoHoBlue hardware. This second video is all about the configuration of the software and making your PC and the SoHoBlue product talk to the internet. The third video in this series is all about fault finding. Fault finding during initial installation, if you have any problems, or during subsequent use of the product. We've broken down the software configuration into 4 easy steps. Step 1, you need to obtain certain information before you actually start the configuration process. So we'll go into detail on exactly what you need to get hold of and review before you start. The second element is actually logging on to the SoHoBlue administration account. The third part is all about looking at the command interface, how you get around it, what commands are available to you as an administrator. So we'll take a quick look at that. And the fourth part of this video is the actual software configuration and getting your unit and your PCs connected onto the internet. So this is step 1. So before we actually start to configure the unit, we're going to need to review some documentation and gather some information to help us during the process. So first of all, we need to review the SoHoBlue Getting Started document. This is actually included with the SoHoBlue unit. It's also available online at netpilot.com/SoHoBlue. The second thing we must do is obtain the unit's serial number. Now this is on a label on the bottom of the unit. It starts with the numbers 9006, and what you're after is the 8 subsequent digits, making a total of 12 numbers and letters in total. So once you've got that serial number, it's a good idea to write that down. We're going to need the serial number during the process of getting this second piece of information that we'll need. This second piece of information is called a proof of purchase code, and that's necessary to use during the licensing process. This time it's a 9-digit code, and there are 3 ways of getting hold of that. Firstly, online at netpilot.com/claim. Secondly, you could obtain it via email by sending an email requesting the proof of purchase code to info@netpilot.com. Or thirdly, you can simply call the number as shown on the screen here and request that you get your proof of purchase code. They're going to want to know the serial number that you've just written down. It's probably a very good idea to keep both the serial number, the proof of purchase code, and the password that you're about to create during the process all together in a very secure location. So if you need to reconfigure the unit for any reason, you know precisely what your serial number is, what your proof of purchase code is, and what your password has been set to. And so on to the second step. This is all about logging on to the administration account. We're assuming that you successfully plugged your SoHoBlue units and all the other network components up together as shown in our first video, and you've powered on your PC your SoHoBlue unit and the ADSL router. During the powering on process, the PC should automatically get configured by the SoHoBlue unit in terms of addressing information. Before we go any further, we need to check the browser configuration. We're going to need to make sure that the browser is set to automatically detect settings that the SoHoBlue unit is sending out to it. We also need to make sure that there is no proxy server set. So let's take a look at our browser configuration and ensure those settings are correct. So I've gone into Internet Explorer. It's perhaps a good idea, before going any further, to remove the home page if you have one set. I've gone for a blank page, which is going to be less confusing during this process. The most important element here is to go into the Tools section here and then go down to the bottom to Internet Options. That then brings up this page that I'll move to the center here so we can see it, and we need to select the Connections tab. This brings up yet another page where we need to go down almost to the bottom and click on LAN Settings. Now there are two important things here on the LAN Settings page. We have to ensure that this tick box automatically detects settings is enabled, and the one down the bottom here, or about proxy servers, that is not enabled. So that's the case on my browser. It was already set up as default in that way, so I'm going to click OK and OK again, and my browser is set up correctly. With our browser set up correctly, we can now go ahead and actually connect to the SoHoBlue unit and configure it. To do that, we're going to have to enter what's known as an IP address, which is a 4 sets of digits numbering system which identifies individual components on a network. So in our case, the SoHoBlue is actually set up as default as 10.0.0.1, and we're going to have to put that into our browser. That's going to bring up a page where we're going to go and click on Administration Access. It's going to come up with a warning message, and we're going to click on the Continue to this website message that the browser brings up. And then we're going to use the default username and password that is required to actually log on. So the default username is admin in lowercase, and the default password is password in lowercase. So we've correctly configured our browser, and now we're going to connect to the SoHoBlue unit. We need to put in the default address of the unit up at the top here, and that is 10.0.0.1. And then we click on the green arrow button here, and we connect through to the SoHoBlue unit. In red, there's various pieces of information indicating at the top here that we do need to go ahead and add a UTM or firmware license to properly activate the SoHoBlue unit, and that's what we're going to be doing a bit later. It's also giving you the email address and phone number if you require assistance, and what we're interested in now is logging on to the SoHoBlue unit as the administrator. So we're going to select this administration access account link and click on it. So we've received from the browser a warning message. There are two types of warning messages depending on your browser, on your Internet Explorer. There are two forms of this message. Here we've received a warning bar up here saying to help protect your security, Internet Explorer has blocked the website. What it really means is it's blocked the communication to the SoHoBlue unit. And we're going to click on that bar, and then it gives you some options. And we're going to click on the option that says Display Block Content. And lo and behold, we're now through to the SoHoBlue unit. What we need to do now is put in the username and password. The defaults are mentioned here just above these two boxes that we're going to be using. So we're going to type in lowercase the username of admin and the password of password. So I'll go ahead and do that. Admin and password. and then I'm going to click on the OK box, and we're through to the administration main menu